Okay, so I am here at New Jupyter Notebook where I will discuss operators in Python. Basically, we have two type of operators. One is logical operator and conditional operators. So we will be discussing them in detail before moving on with our next advanced topics. So let's get started. So let me rename this. So this is gonna be 004 operators in Python. So we have two type of operators. So operator, we have logical and we have conditional. Okay, so we'll see them in detail. So yeah, so logical and conditional. Okay, so now what is a logical operator? So logical operator in Python is basically a symbol or keyword that we use to connect two or more expressions or conditions by creating a compound condition that can be evaluated as true or false. Okay, so so basically, if you see, it is connecting two or more expressions. So like for example, we discussed, right? Let's say if x equal to 10, so if x is greater than 0, print x is positive, right? Now that is one thing. If I want to check whether if other conditions, so like the syntax will be, so the syntax would be, I'm looking at if condition 1 and something and condition 2, condition 3 and so on, like that, right? So if I want something of that sort and then I want to execute some code block, then how we need to achieve that? So in order to achieve this kind of a thing where I want to mm, check multiple conditions, we use logical operators. Okay, and then the logical operators okay, so these logical operators are, what are the logical operators we have? We have and, or we have or, and then we have not, right? So these are the logical operators. So let me I reiterate, logical operators are basically used to create more complex conditions in a control flow statement, such as if else statement and while loop. Okay, so I will cover while loop in upcoming sessions, but to understand is what are the logical operators we have, right? Or let me just put that. So let's see one example. So prior to that, let me just give you some idea about. So this it check, what it basically check, it checks whether two or more conditions are both true. Basically it checks whether it checks whether at least one of the condition is true. And what it checks that it inverts the truth value of the condition. So now let me reiterate. So this AND operator, logical operator, will return true if both the operands or the values are true, else it will return false. And in case of OR, this will return true if either of the operators is true, else returns false. And not it will return true if the operand is false, and it return false, else it will return false. So this is the things we should be knowing about them. Okay, so I think in our mathematics, when we were studying in school, we have learnt about A and B, right? So this is a condition. So this is basically a truth table, we call it. So it will return only true when both the conditions are true. Otherwise, if any one of this condition is true, it will still return false, and obviously if both the false, it will return false. Similarly, it will go with the multiple also. So you see, everything is false when every statement of this particular, all the three statements are true, conditions are true, then only it will return true, otherwise it will return false. And this goes on with any number of conditions. So that is the ideal behavior of the AND operator. And when I talk about the OR operator, so if both the conditions are false, then only it will return false, otherwise it will return true. If anyone, at least one of the statement is, this condition is true, it will return true. Okay, and it is something which is like OR C, right? So it will return true only when all the three statement conditions are false, then only it will return false. Okay, now that is something we can do for not A. Okay, so if it is false, it will return true. Basically it is an inverter. Basically it will flip the output into true and false. Okay, so this is one thing. We can use combination of them also. Let's say I am using A or B and C. Okay, so now see, there is a behavior change here. So then the behavior change here. So this parenthesis make some, so we are taking A or B, okay, and then we are using C, right? So if this false, false, false and true, so this is again false, because the output of this will be compared with the value of this, that is how. So first it will be what is the output of this to A or B is false. When they are both false, so the output will be false, and then false and true will be false. Whereas the output here, the false and true, false or true will be a true, and true and true will be true. That's why it is true. Okay, I hope you're getting it. It's very simple. It might be confusing, but it's very simple, right? So that is where we can club these operators to achieve certain conditional execution of block you want to do based on condition. We can achieve that. Okay, so that is something I want to cover about the operators, and in the next video we'll look into the AND operator. That's all for this video. See you in another video.